And joining us now from the Loyola University, Maryland Selinger School of Business and Management is Lisa Yo, Assistant Professor of Information Systems. Professor, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
We want to focus on cybersecurity. And obviously, Maryland has become, I don't want to say ground zero, but a major center for cybersecurity, largely because of the federal government, I guess.
Yes, definitely. And their decision to locate Cyber Command in this area, a lot of the federal government agencies, a lot of military commands and whatnot. So it's a really great place to be in cyber right now, yes.
It seems in terms of the news flow on cyber, not more than a week or two ever goes by without a big hack being reported somewhere. A batch of credit card numbers, a batch of login, password information. Yes,
definitely. I mean, part of that is because, of course, we have to report on it. When people's information is lost, there's laws now that say we have to notify them, which is a great development. In the early days, it was just kept quiet, and so nobody really knew until they found out their credit cards are being used fraudulently. So that is actually an improvement, but it does have a tendency to make us think, well, it happens to everyone, so why do I need to worry about it from a business perspective? I don't think it's going to get any better. I think we are going to continue to see breaches of different forms. We are constantly sort of learning from our mistakes, and there's always sort of new companies coming along that haven't learned from the mistakes. So,
well, why is it this sort of eternal problem? I mean, why can't there be like a bulletproof solution to secure some company's database?
You know, it's because it's actually a very complex system. So there's an element of, in the early days of the internet and getting computers to work and to talk to each other, it was about getting them to do it. So we were trying to build something, and we never really thought about, well, how would people break that? How would they use it badly? Everyone was sort of like trying to build something new, and it's great. And so now we're trying to tack on all of these ways to protect, sort of like as Band-Aids on top of our original systems. Now, we are getting better at what we do, but there's still a lot of old legacy system. There's still a lot of old, not as well designed hardware, software, and even just sort of networks of communication. When we set up within a business, how do we design our infrastructure to work more securely? So there's always going to be that. And there are always going to be people. And people are really great soft targets. And we can trick employees and our parents or our families at home. We can trick them into following a link that then installs bad malicious software. And so that's sort of two avenues. It was never really designed for security, and human beings are easy to hack.
Okay, so from the standpoint of a company that might listen to that sort of remark and think, as you said before, maybe this is hopeless, how can they do a better job?
So there's a few things, and the basics of dealing with this are going to be sort of the standard idea of you do need your antivirus software, you do need to run your updates. These are sort of the basic things that need to be dealt with. We need to think now more and more about a basic activity that you do is encryption of your data in all places and at all times. So there's this aspect of these are sort of the known things that you just have to do when you have computer systems. And then moving that up to a next level of what information am I keeping? What information do I need to keep to run my business? And if I don't need something, maybe I should just never collect it, because then it can't be stolen. So that's an aspect. We also always talk about educating our employees, our workers. That's a really big, working with humans, working with our employees, and making it really salient to them what they have to do to be more secure. And there's a perennial problem, but some of the best ideas around this right now between research and people who have tried this is to also not just talk about, well, you have to do this, you need this type of password, and you need to have all of this, follow all these rules to keep my business safe, but to also say, well, by taking these actions, by using strong passwords, by using maybe a two-factor authentication, so needing a code on your cell phone as well to get into something, those are good things that protect you in your real life. That'll help keep your bank account safe. That'll help keep, whatever personal information that you have when you do this at home safe. And then what we find is then people then bring that back into their workplace. So when they know how it affects them personally, they start to use it a little bit better in their workplace too.
So businesses, because your business is on the line, you have reputational risk, you have financial risk, they can't put their heads in the sand.
They really have to do some of this stuff. And that's one of the things, though, to think about is think about it from a risk perspective, not the techies say I have to do this and I'll be secure or I'll never be secure technically. What is your risk level? What is your tolerance? Where are the things that are important to you that are sort of your crown jewels, as it were. What information do you absolutely need, and if it got out, would be catastrophic to your firm, and make sure that you have a method for mitigating risk in there. So whether it's as simple as encryption, or it's only a few people have access to that.
Now, let me ask about it from a consumer standpoint, because increasingly you see websites that are asking for a password that has a set number of digits and letters and uppercase and lowercase and dollar signs or
and you have no
dashes.
hope of remembering that, right?
Exactly, and you sort of throw up your hands and you just write it on a sticky note and put it in your wallet.
You know what? I admitted defeat a few years ago, and I was pretty good. I've been involved in cybersecurity for probably 15 years now, and I was pretty good about choosing my passwords, never reusing them, but it has become untenable. And so a lot of cases, what I did was I switched and I use a password manager. So I need to know how to log into this password manager. I need to remember that password. And then from there, I can use it to log into anything else that I need. And so that's sort of one way, if, as people are starting to get overwhelmed, they can start using software that will take care of some of that for you. I recently read an opinion piece that suggested, we did it all wrong. We should have told people to write down their passwords and then keep those safe like you keep your wallet safe. So I don't know what's going to happen with passwords. I certainly know the biometrics is helping. So the fact that we can scan our thumbs on our smartphones now, right, that's making a difference. The two-factor authentication will allow us to ask for easier passwords, because you'll use your ID and password, and then you'll get your code, and that will be help to deal with that.
Lastly, let me ask about this from the student's perspective, their interest level, but also the fact that this industry is going to constantly evolve. It's not like the law, where you could learn a set of material and expect it to maybe evolve a little bit. This is evolving rapidly and constantly.
Yeah, that's one of the big struggles, is to stay current with what is happening. What are the new technologies? What are the new threats? How do we deal with them? What you'll typically find from us, from an undergraduate student, is give them a broad view, and then once you go start working in a particular field, you really delve down and get a lot more deep knowledge in a specific area, whether that's something from a business overview risk management side, whether that's I'm going to do incident response, so very much more technical thing. I'm going to identify what happened, fix it, write reports to help us do better, come up with better plans, whether it's actually creating more secure code. So you really have to, right now, getting depth has largely been an on-the-job experience. There are third-party organizations that will then help you sort of tweak your education in that area. But a lot of universities in general, they give you a broad overview, they get you started. And yeah, this is all hands-on. And it's lifelong learning. You're going to have to keep going and keep paying attention and love what you're doing in order to stay current.
But I bet these kids get hired really fast.
They do.
Coming out of school. They do.
We've had a few students who've done internships that have really piqued their interest, so they've delved more deeply, and yeah, they get jobs typically very well.
Lisa Yo joining us from the Sellinger School of Business. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
And that is our program for this week. Tune in every Thursday at this time for Your Money and Business. Remember, you can see full episodes of our local MPT programs by visiting video.mpt.tv. Streaming videos are available there 24 hours a day. You can also follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter address is @MPT News. Join us tomorrow at this time for State Circle and the latest on Maryland politics. Now, for all of us here at MPT, I'm Jeff Salkin. Thanks for watching Your Money and Business, and have a good night.
This program was made by MPT to serve all of our diverse communities.